Hello nail babes and nail friends, welcome back to the channel where I try to eliminate your nail struggles by trying all the things so you don't have to. If you are coming back to our channel, thank you for coming back and being an oldie but goodie. I really appreciate you. I really do. I really do. If you're new, come on back, join our family. This is what my nephew does. He says, join our family. So come on, do that for us. And if you haven't, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so you can be tuned in to know more about what we're doing over here. All right, so today's thing, you may get an introduction where you finally see my face, and if you don't, please don't be upset. It means that, you know, had a long day and this is as good as I could get to doing. Nevertheless, I wanted to help some of you that are going along in your nail journey and you're probably trying to figure out what is it I need for my nail journey. So hope you don't mind me. I have my nice little notes and that are here, and I'm going to try to show you product wise what you need. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, so for those of you that are just starting your journey in acrylic, you are probably going to want to know, like, what is it that I absolutely need? So I'm gonna go through these relatively quickly because it's a lot of stuff and I don't want to be talking all day. First thing you're going to need are some files, and you're probably going to need at least some 180 100 grit files. If you don't know, the lesser the number is, the more coarse the grit file is, okay? So I know you would think that if it's a 100 grit file, that means that it's softer. No, 100 grit means it's the tougher grit side of the 100 and 180 grit side. This is a beauty secret file. You can find these at Sally Beauty. You can also find files at Walmart and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, you probably want to start off with this. This will help you in your journey so that you know exactly where to find these. The next thing you're going to need is a cuticle pusher. A cuticle pusher just helps you to be able to push back your cuticles, okay? You're going to need to do that if you're going to do your nails, because as we go on, you'll probably learn a little more about nail anatomy, but there is a waxy substance that grows up on the nail plate. People like to refer to it as the cuticle. We're not going to get into it for those who are purists in the nail anatomy of the nail, but you're going to need to be able to get that waxy substance up off of your nail, and helping you to do that, you're going to need a cuticle pusher. You can get these, this type, you can find it like Sally's, Amazon, and AliExpress. I probably paid about $1 for this on AliExpress. The next thing you can choose to determine whether or not you need is an e-file, okay? You don't need this one. This is a Cyan. This is a very expensive e-file. I do have a couple of other e-files that are in my collection. Unfortunately, 2 of them, they don't sell anymore, so I don't want to show you those, but you can usually find them on eBay. I mean, not eBay, but Amazon for relatively inexpensive, so an e-file can help you. You're going to need some type of primer. I tend to use Protein Bond. Protein Bond from Young Nails is a non-acid primer. You can find this, of course, at Young Nails. I'll try to link it down in the box for you, because you can also find these on Amazon. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna need to pick yourself up one of these $1 nail polish holders, because if you're trying to do your nails, you may end up spilling this thing, and I just like to keep it in here so I don't spill it. These are too expensive. These things are like 11 to 15 bucks a piece. You don't want to spend it. Now let me show you something that you don't probably want to buy. This is the No Lift Nails primer. Now some people are going to jump on me, but don't, and let me tell you why. This is an acid primer, and if you don't know, it kind of etches the nail a little bit. That means that it kind of eats a little bit of the surface of the nail off. The reason I say don't buy this if you are a beginner, and I know people tell you to buy this, is because especially in this journey of people going on their nail journey during this lockdown, I have seen so many people absolutely destroying their nails with overfiling and not knowing how to use this product properly. It is at Sally's, but I'm gonna tell you, as a beginner, I do not suggest you buy this until you are properly trained in knowing how to use this. So you want to look for a non-acid primer. This is actually an acid primer, so do not purchase that, okay? The next thing you are going to need is an acrylic brush. So I have a couple of them here for you. This one is actually from Profiles Backstage. They have gone up in price. They're about 30 bucks. This one is from Nail Supply Glamour. It's about $25. And then this one is from Alpha Brush, which is right around the same price. I'm gonna be honest with you, my favorite is actually, out of the 3 here, is the one from Profiles Backstage. Now this is a size 10 brush. I would probably tell you need to start with a size 8 or a 10. When you are are starting your acrylic journey. This is actually a size 14. I mean, this one's actually a size 16, so this may be a little bit too big if you're just starting your journey, but start off with size 8 or 10 and look for a good brush. Another option for a good brush on Amazon is the brand Pana, P-A-N-A, Pana. So they have good acrylic brushes, because I'm telling you, you don't have a good acrylic brush, you will think that you are not a good nail tech, or that you don't know what you're doing with your nails. And a lot of the times it is the tools. Okay, if you do makeup, you'll know the tools are about 80% of the game when you're trying to even put on makeup. The next thing you're going to need is some type of dust brush or manicure brush. Now, I buy these. You can find these at Sally's. I tend to purchase these off the internet. They usually cost me about 50 cents. This is just an old makeup dust brush. I like to use these brushes after I have done a lot of my filing, to try to go in there and really get that dust out of there. That's what these are good for. I like these when I'm filing my nail to kind of just wipe away the dust. This is just a makeup brush that I don't use in my in the application of my makeup. Okay, so the next thing that you are going to need is that you are going to need acrylic. Now, this is the Young Nails acrylic that is in the 45 gram jar. This is cool to start with, but this is very, very small. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you right now that if you may start with this because you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your nail journey, if this is something that you want to do for acrylic nails. But if you are serious, you may start with this. Start with a good brand. Don't start with cheap brands, because you really are gonna think you're horrible, and it's the product that will make a difference. So if you're serious about your acrylic journey, I'm gonna tell you now, go ahead and up the ante. Buy these bigger 660 gram powders. I would probably tell you that you go ahead and start with the color clear, because clear is just very much easier to start with. You usually need it as a base. You usually need it for capping. This one is a good one too, because this is core French pink. It's a very, very light pink. But buy yourself the big jars if you're going to be serious about purchasing product. A different brand that you can look into is Coupa as well, because with their sales and 25% off every month, you can usually get these for about $42, which is very inexpensive. The next item you're going to need is nail liquid. And like I said, if you're serious about your nail journey, when you first start, you probably will start with these small 6 fluid ounce bottles of fluid. But I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna go through these so fast if you are really practicing. And even if you are practicing that much, you're gonna go through this really, really fast. So I would highly suggest that you go ahead and up the ante. And I'm gonna zoom out for you, and you go ahead and purchase the 32 ounce bottles of nail liquid, because as you will begin to do nails, you'll see that the number one thing that you go through more than anything is nail liquid, more than powder. Okay, so we just discussed powders and that, and some of these are some other things that you are going to need. You're going to need alcohol. Now, I'm going to highly suggest that you get 70% over 91, and let me tell you why. If you don't know, 70% is the percentage of alcohol that actually kills germs on the nail. Okay, it has an ability. I could go into some scientific stuff, but I'm not. But it kind of helps break down the cell wall and bacteria a lot better than the 90%. Plus, the 91% one evaporates too fast to kill anything. So I know everybody thinks higher percentage of alcohol, the better. No, you want 90%. Okay, this will also help you, and this can double as both helping to kill germs off the nail plate, but that it also can help you in your nail prep. I love it for cleaning off the nails. Okay, the next thing you're going to need is some acetone. Acetone, this is actually the brand I like to use. You can find this at Walmart. This is just the Onyx brand of acetone. You can find this at Sally's and that as well. It's a couple bucks a bottle. I like to use this as the dehydrator for my nails. You can buy a set dehydrator, but I personally have not gotten any lifting, and I usually wipe my nail with alcohol after I've done my filing. Is alcohol, then acetone, and then my protein bond. But you definitely need acetone. The next thing that you are going to need to determine is whether or not you are going to use forms to build your nail, or if you are going to use nail tips. Okay, I am going to tell you right now, I personally learned on myself with nail forms. And the reason I learned with nail forms is because I can sculpt any shape. I can, if you have somebody and you are a nail biter, most people who bite their nails bite them down way too low in the surface. for you to, you know, successfully attach a nail tip without it completely popping off after a few days. But with nail forms, you learn how to put the form on. You can sculpt any shape. You can, you know, usually do whatever length it is that you want. I just personally found that's just what I started with, and that's what I like using. But I do have my few opportunities that I may go ahead and use tips, but you need to decide which one you want to use. You can find tips at Sally's. You can also find tips, I probably should, I'm gonna go ahead and pull those out for you because I'm sitting next to my nail drawer. Young Nails has nail forms in that as well. This is the roll of 500, but Young Nails has nail forms. You can find these on the internet, usually eBay or AliExpress, for about a couple bucks if you're just trying to go ahead and start your nail journey. The next thing that you are going to need, if you decide to use nail tips, you're going to need to use some nail glue. I like the Young Nails brush on nail glue. There's another nail glue that I do like, but it's a professional brand, so I won't tell you about it. But Young Nails is definitely a good brush on nail glue. If you've gotten this far in the video, I'm gonna tell you this too. Young Nails has an entire kit for about $100 that includes all the acrylic. It includes all of, I mean, it's like 5 different of these jars. It includes the nail brush, the Kolinsky brush. It includes the lint wipes, the protein bonder, the brushes, the manicure brushes, the cuticle oil. It has everything. I'm telling you now, probably if you have to, go ahead and grab one of those. But for those of you who may have maybe started collecting stuff, that's why I'm going through this now. So just in case you started collecting stuff and want to say, hey, what do I need from this point based on what I bought, or I want to try something else, that's what this video is for. For a couple of different jars, I want to show you. This is just a $1 bottle that you can find at Walmart, and this is something that you can find off of at your local nail supply store or even off of the internet to put your monomer in, because I'm telling you now, you don't want to spill your monomer, okay? And if you are trying to pour out of large bottles like this, you are probably going to spill it. And even if you're pouring it out of the smaller bottles like this, it's probably better just go ahead and get yourself a liquid monomer bottle. You're also going to need a monomer dish. I would highly suggest the white one, so that on the inside you're able to see the level of your monomer, and then you're also able to see whether or not it is cloudy. So I like the alcohol bottles and these and the monomer bottles in here because it's very easy to just spray and go, okay? So those are some of the other things that you need. Let's keep going. You are also, if you decide again to do tips, you are gonna need some type of nail cutter or, oops, sorry ladies and gentlemen, or you're gonna need some nail scissors to cut the tips, okay? This is actually my nail tip cutter from Koopa, but you can find nail tip cutters on Amazon, AliExpress, and eBay for relatively cheap, and these are the same thing, the stork scissors you've seen from when people do nail videos that are a couple of dollars a piece. This is if you choose to do nail tips. I'm gonna tell you also, just go ahead and grab yourself a set of tweezers. You're gonna need them. Trust me, you will need them. Some things that people tell you need, and I'm gonna show you, but I'm gonna say that you don't need right offhand, are cuticle nippers or cuticle scissors in your journey. You could choose to have these tools. I personally am terrified of cutting other people's cuticles because I don't want anybody to bleed, okay? I'm good at cutting my own. I don't even cut them that much because they don't terribly bother me. But if you're a beginner, I'm gonna say for now, you probably need to stay away from these tools because you will not have learned what is considered the live skin versus the dead skin. And you can watch other videos, and as time goes on, maybe I'll show you that, you know, what it looks like that you can cut. But as for a beginner, I only pretty much use these now to snip rhinestones off of nails, okay? You are also going to need, I showed you files, but you're also going to need some buffers. These are just this one is your traditional block buffer that you can find at Sally's. It's probably, I don't know, around about 89 cents. You can use the white one or you can use the black one. The white ones are just my preference. I just like them better. As you get further along in your journey, you may decide that you want something that is a little more disposable and throw away. This is the Pro Stick system. That you basically can detach and attach a new buffer or new file. You can file these at the nailfilestore.com. If you decide that you want to go the e-file journey and you're trying to buff or sand your nails, you are going to need sanding bands. Now, you should not be using a sanding band really with a grit lower than about 150. Okay, you need, don't, if you're trying to prep your nail and you're new, do not buy coarse. They will look like little rocks all over the sanding bands. You probably want to stay around a 150 to 180 grit sanding band. Okay, you don't want to go anything less than that, because I've seen so many people, oh my god, that are like tearing up their nails and over filing during this time of their nail journey, and I don't want you to get the wrong things. You are going, if you decide that you want to use gel polish, you are going to need a nail lamp. This is a UV LED, or basically it's actually called a CFL LED lamp, but to make things easier for people to understand, most manufacturers just put UV LED on the lamp. But this is a fairly inexpensive one that's about 40 or 50 bucks off of Amazon that you can use. That will also double not only for gel polish, but if you decide to do hard gel application. Something else that I'm going to highly suggest, you do not have to get this one, but for your health and safety, I'm going to suggest that you grab a dust collector. Okay, so this is actually the Young Nails dust collector, and I do have another dust collector that I'm about to show you. Okay, this one is about $35. Okay, my Young Nails dust collector, these go for $175. Okay, so that may not be in your price range, but get a dust collector to suck up the fine particle dust. You do not want to be breathing in all of that dust that's coming off of your nails. It's unhealthy for your lungs, okay? And that stuff is easily breathable as well. But this dust collector does very well. It's $35, 35 to 40 bucks on Amazon. And I'm telling you right now, it sounds like a jet engine, but you will thank me later, because you will have less amount of dust around your work area. And last but not least, you are going to need some type of cleanup brush. Now, the cleanup brush actually helps if you decide to use gel polish in your application after you've applied your acrylic. Now, this is the Simply Simmons number 2. This is the Simply Simmons filbert brush, and I use this brush. Hold on, let me put a couple of these things down in my hand. I use this brush solely for cleaning up gel polish and that's like around my cuticle. I tend to use these little monomer dishes. A lot of people start off with these little monomer dishes. I don't like them because they easily spill over all the time. But if you are going to start with this, these are about $2 at Sally's. And once you get yourself a good nail brush, a trick that I want to show you to pouring in your monomer in that so you don't spill it everywhere is to pour it down the shaft of the brush. So you can see as I'm showing here, pour down the shaft of the brush and it will easily go into the jar without it spilling everywhere. Okay, so hopefully I helped you out on knowing that those are a couple of things that I suggest that you purchase or buy in your nail journey so that you are not completely wasting money. But again, IBD has a great kit online. Young Nails has an awesome kit that is only about $100. But if you were looking for separate things, hopefully I helped you in your journey. If you haven't, hit like or subscribe and come back and join our family. Nevertheless, thank you for tuning in, everybody, and until later, you know exactly what I'm gonna say. Life is too short to wear boring nails, and we're out.